Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like Somee.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io. Alright, we're live. Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I'm with my bro. He's a real nice guy. How goes it?
How's it going, Ken? Happy to be here.
Appreciate you taking the time and bearing with the technical difficulties today, man. But why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience? Let them know a little bit about, who you are, maybe what you were doing before Bitcoin got into your life and how you fell down the rabbit hole and what you're doing now in the industry.
Yeah. So, my Twitter handle is real nice guy SRH, but my real name is Spencer. Um, I think to just kind of to generalize your question, I stumbled upon Bitcoin in late 2015, early 2016 when the price was right around $400 per coin.
Same.
Back then it wasn't. There honestly wasn't that much use case. It was kind of still relatively new. I had a buddy mentioned to me that it was this new technology, this new investment, this new form of money. It was just this total wild west. Obviously just buying it through Coinbase and not depositing much. Just like $50, and just honestly never looked at it. Which is obviously a shame because had I not known where this would be going or where it's gonna go, I could have invested more. However, you can't look at those regrets and those what ifs and whatnot. So fast forward here about 2016, late 2016 or late 2017, I started investing a bunch of cash I had saved up working in the restaurant industry and starting my own business. I started meal prep company, customizable meal prep delivered, front door, healthy meal prep, all this stuff. But I had saved up a bunch of money and I had put it in a savings account and wasn't earning any interest or it wasn't doing anything. And so I was like, I feel like this is just going to go down in value over
Right.
time, common sense, finance 101 mindset. But I was just like, how do I get invested? And I seeked out, my parents' advice and I said, hey, how do I get invested in the stock market? And this is right around when Trump got elected. So the stock market was already in a place where I felt like, hey, this might be an opportunity to enter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got invested in the stock market. I just started with about five grand. Didn't want to allocate or put any more money in because I didn't know what to do. I had a financial advisor that was kind of just taking the money and just doing it, doesn't really give it any
Right.
advice, doesn't say, hey, this is where this money is going, this is where it's being invested, this is the potential return. I didn't see that, and so I always found it upon myself to take responsibility and do things myself when it came to investments. And so I started with tech stocks like Apple, Amazon, just the basic stocks, but then also come to realize as time was moving on month to month that I was so focused on the stock market. Here we are in early 2017, early mid 2017. The Bitcoin price is over $1,000 and it's starting to move north. And so I said, hey, like I think I should put a little bit more. And so I put a couple more $100, again, not knowing it would reach its peak of 20K or whatever. But I also said, hey, like this is kind of unrealistic. This is really parabolic. When you look at a parabolic euphoric kind of raise, like late 2017 was, I just didn't think it was real. I saw it at more of like a retail kind of you know, everybody's and their mom is asking about Bitcoin. You're talking about it at the gym. You're talking about it
Yep.
this. You know, famous people are starting to talk about it. But again, no one really understands that. You know, they thought it was more of like an equity or a stock where they can buy. You know, it's a company or it's uh, some sort of asset that you can like you have information on. In reality, that you expose yourself to something so much more, and I think that's where you have that like aha kind of moment.
Yep.
And I think that's what was for me, where I was like, hey, like the stock market can crash just as much. It's just as volatile. It's just as, you know,
As it has.
unpredictable. It's completely manipulated. Whether or not you believe it's, you know, Trump's economy is great or whatnot. I think as great as, you know, we've been in this 11 or 12-year bull market, this pullback or this correction that you're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this kind of global slowdown of markets.
Yeah, I know the people are saying that the halving isn't priced in, but I don't think Corona has been priced into
Yeah,
the traditional market right now. I mean, that is going to be a big ripple effect, you know, even after this clears up. But we're still at the beginnings of this. You know, I think we're starting to get the title of pandemic, right? So it's
yeah,
to see the traditional market, you know, right now in the state that it's in with the world events plus the political local events, it's not a good storm on the horizon. You know, it's I don't know if there'll be rainbows after all this or not, but I definitely do see the storm coming to the legacy market.
mhm.
And I think Crypto Man ran, yeah, from CNBC posted today, you know, the Bitcoin chart compared to like the Dow and everything. It was like, repeat after me. Bitcoin is non-correlated asset. Bitcoin is a
Yeah.
non-correlated asset.
I think I
I
did see
was
that too
dying.
specifically. I remember seeing that. That's funny you mentioned that.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. Actually, around this. Oh, hey, got a new subscriber. Remedy Report. Thanks for the subscription, bro. Much appreciate it. But yeah, dude, I'm with you. I tried getting into the legacy market early on in like 2015, and I was looking to tech stocks. Yeah, that's one word for tech stock talks. And I thought I was a little late to that party. I wasn't aware of like, you know, crypto plus tech and like what that could have done till after the fact with like Nvidia and everything else. But I actually got in with cannabis stocks. You know, I was looking at legal weed, and I thought it was the,
Ah,
and I did it out of like meme investment. It was a total lull. Like I was like, wait, I could invest in weed, like that's a thing. And you know, again, like you had a financial advisor, I had a friend who was a financial advisor who was kind of like, and unfortunately you weren't getting that like educational aspect of a financial advisor. Like that's what you're paying them for, not so much to fish for you, but to also teach you how to fish as they're, you know, helping you along the way. And my friend was talking to me about these crypto things, and I saw that the Ethereum ICO was more opportunistic than like, you know, the Snapchat IPO that kind of like kicked me out because I wasn't
yeah.
accredited, and that sucked, man. Like I was really looking at these tech, you know, stocks, and like the only ones that I thought I had a chance at were in like IPOs, and I couldn't take advantage. And then I saw them go public from like $4 to like 20 something dollars, dude. And I'm like, I have a little bit of a vendetta now against like the legacy stock market. I'll never fucking touch TD Ameritrade ever again. Fuck them, you know.
Yeah.
But once I saw like, you know, these things take off from those IPOs to the public listings, and how, you know, I didn't get into the Ethereum ICO, but I saw it, and I correlated that lesson to the legacy, like, you know, the Snapchat IPO. And as ICOs kept coming out, I took advantage, you know, because I was allowed to, because I was able to participate, unlike the legacy market. And that I think is like the biggest disadvantage, you know, the average investor has when it comes to investing is the permission to participate rather than permissionlessness participation. And
Right.
that Wild West opportunistic, you know, era that we had in early 2017 to 2018, you know, it was beautiful. Even though people did lose money, like there wasn't, everybody wasn't a winner, but the opportunity.
Remind them, you don't lose money until you sell. So if you hold like you're supposed to, It doesn't matter. It does, I mean, unfortunately, it does suck buying at the top. But who knew? No one knew that 20K was going to be the top. Like we all thought it would go further and further and
But you can
further.
hedge against this, man. People have done this, with Celsius and other opportunities where you can lend out and earn like 4% or some shit. Like, people
Yeah,
are finding ways to hedge against while still hodling, earning something on that in any direction the
right,
market goes.
right. So I guess my next question for you would be, as we entered other people that don't understand how the market works in the cycles, we entered a bear market in 2018. That's where I bought most of the majority of my portfolio. I saw a huge opportunity with Bitcoin getting as low, like damn near kissing 2,900. It was down to 3K, 3,100, and that's when I bought multiple full bitcoins. People need to understand, like, it's okay to, you can own, it's the game of accumulation, but at the same time you have to recognize the opportunity when it's
Yep.
there. And I said, hey, I think this is dirt cheap. This is December of 2018, like not knowing that this was the market bottom. I just remember specifically like December 14th or 15th. It was my friend's birthday, and I remember just looking at the market and just saying, "Damn, this stuff is cheap." So I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm buying Ethereum, I'm buying Litecoin. I bought Litecoin at $21. I mean, like
Nice.
like it's a joke when people say, "Oh, I don't own any," these Bitcoin maximalists. They're like, "I only own Bitcoin," or "I'm XRP Army standard," all this stuff. To me, it's like I don't look at one coin as like the single coin. I recognize in order to succeed and have a thriving marketplace, there's going to be multiple winners. And I think when you invest in a project or a coin that you believe in, you're putting your capital at risk. You're putting your money that you've worked for at risk. So essentially, when I look at the way I invest in crypto, as I said, I recognize that Bitcoin is the original blockchain. I recognize that Bitcoin is the gold standard. Whether or not the debate about whether it's a store of value, its utility sucks, it's slow, it's not good for transactions. I recognize that. I see that. It takes time to understand that, and that's why you look at other projects, other coins in the market, the top 20, 30 of coin market cap. You can see which ones have the most promise. Now, nothing's guaranteed, and I'm sure you can agree with that.
Yeah.
But I just see, from a diversified portfolio standpoint, um, you need to, I mean, I guess to people that still don't own it or on the fence or on the sidelines, um, do your own research, and you can.
Diversify your bonds, fool.
And and a lot of the questions, I guess another question directed at you to change the subject is, for someone that isn't, or someone that's new into cryptocurrency or looking to just start with $100 or $1,000 or whatever, what on ramp or what wallet would you recommend for a non-coiner at this point? Because I know that you don't particularly are a fan of Coinbase. I use Coinbase. I mean, I've been using it for years, but I'm sure you're familiar with Binance and other exchanges that have ways to kind of deposit USD for fiat currency for digital assets. What's your recommendation?
Anything that lets you hold your keys after purchase, that's usually what I recommend to newcomers. Like a wallet with a built-in mechanism. Monarch uses, I believe, Simplex, so like you could buy Bitcoin through the Monarch wallet and get your private keys in your wallet right away, so it's non-custodial. Otherwise, there's the exchange method. You can go with like Kraken or Gemini, things like that, or Coinbase even. I don't like to recommend custodials to newcomers because then they get tempted to trade or use the other features inside that exchange, and they start to really like burn themselves out trying to keep up with like all the experts in the space.
Yeah,
And I
there's so
don't
many
want to
experts,
incentivize
binary
that.
traders. There's so many. I get so many
Right. So like
FX
just buy and
traders.
hold, and I think wallets that have purchasable and I think even ATMs are probably my favorite go-to because it makes it real for people that have no
Yeah,
idea, that have never physically or even intangibly engaged with Bitcoin. Go to an ATM.
you
Stick
talk about
20
those like
bucks into like
stars.
CoinFlip. CoinFlip has an ATM. Coinstar is another one that's really cool too, but like that's more like for change. You're not really sticking like $100 into it like you would an ATM when you're depositing
I
money
think you
to a
might be
bank.
able to. I think it's a multi. purpose
Ooh, I
machine where you're able to
haven't
deposit.
seen that. I actually was talking to
I've seen
Coinstar
people deposit
recently.
dollars and $20. I mean, I watched my friend do it, but
Okay. I thought it was only
that was a
for
couple weeks
change.
ago.
That's interesting.
It's just at Safeway.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
I mean, there was really no reason before this to put a dollar bill into a Coinstar because the whole purpose of the machine was to put change in and get dollar bills out. So I guess now that they have something to actually sell, they're accepting dollar bills to then give out something else, which is, Bitcoin. And I'd imagine real soon you're going to be able to pay your damn Netflix, account with Coinstar. You jump in your change, you log into Netflix, pay, and it will pay your damn Netflix with your spare change, most likely.
Do you? I know you retweeted one of my, or you liked one of my retweets about. I think Chewy announced their, or Lolly announced their
Yep,
partnership with
I
Chewy.
saw
That's
that.
huge. Like
Chewy's
that's
going
just
viral
more.
right now, man. Like they're like sponsored ads are everywhere. They're the number one recommended animal app. Because I
I've
googled
used them
something for my
personally.
dog months ago, or like a month ago for the vet. I see Chewy ads everywhere now. Like it's and on. I don't watch TV much, but when I'm in the living room with my cousin, just hanging out and chilling, there'll be an ad on, and every other commercial break there's a Chewy ad. And then I saw that Lolly partnered with them today, and I think that's beautiful. That's genius, and I would like that their partners would highlight that partnership on the website. So like
Yeah.
when you go to one of these platforms that accept the Lolly rewards. So like people may not know this. If you just have like the Lolly extension on your Chrome browser and you shop as you normally do online, you get a percentage back in Satoshis, which is like an increment of Bitcoin, a small amount of Bitcoin, like a couple dollars worth, depending on how much you spend, right? And I would like to see them on their website when you go to it, just say, click here to get your crypto kickback, and it's just a direct link to like the Lolly extension or something, because like these websites don't highlight the opportunity as much as Lolly does. So
Yeah.
like I feel like it's like a one-sided partnership at the moment.
Yeah. No, and I honestly just think it's just a domino effect here. I mean, everything coming to fruition and stuff that you and other people that have been in the industry for so long have been talking about and preaching about, but no one listened. And it's just like you just see it coming, like right at the begin, right at the like the beginning of the upward trend of this roller coaster, and it's going to be up and down, up and down. But the trend is going to change here, and I don't think, like you said, we might debate on this, but I'm kind of on the fence of whether or not the price is kind of factored into the halving. Um,
It's
I,
not.
I I
It's
don't
not.
think it is.
No, nothing is ever factored in till moment of. You know what I mean? Like nothing is priced in. That is a wild statement that a lot of like people have that are, I feel like, too smart to use it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're too smart to say dumb sentences like
So
that.
many charts and like it's like thank God for these accounts that make these charts. They're so informal, and I'm sure it's the Bitcoin charts. They retweet stuff every day. I just found it interesting, and then I guess just to tell people that are more my followers, because I feel like your followers have a pretty good understanding at this point of what's coming up in May and potentially late April if the system keeps speeding up the way it is. Um, tell tell exactly what is a halvening event for someone that isn't just gonna go on Google and type Bitcoin halvening. Get it from a perspective of someone that's been around it long enough to like kind of essentially make it less complex.
Well, the first thing is that it's not a stock split. Unfortunately, a lot of newcomers to this space that are, maybe even educated investors or uneducated investors get into cryptocurrency. They come in with that correlated aspect of stock and crypto are the same, and like when they hear halvening, I think they think opportunity for like a stock split or something like that, where there's like dividends, and that's not what a Bitcoin halvening is. What it is the miner reward is cut in half every 4 years. So right now, I think, what is it, like 12.5?
Yeah, I think it's heading to 625.
Yeah, so that it gets cut in half every 4 years, and again, like right now, it's at like 12.5 every 10 minutes. So like a heartbeat, Bitcoin has that heartbeat every 10 minutes. It's a slow heartbeat, sort of like a great whale, but it beats every 10 minutes, and there's a lottery. So random winner, a miner, gets rewarded, with those 12.5 Bitcoin. And then also these miners get rewarded in transaction fees. But that's besides the halvening point. So, yeah. Anyway, every 10 minutes they get rewarded. And every 4 years it gets cut in half. We're probably looking at May 12th right now, the last I checked. And like you said, if it keeps going the way it is, it could potentially become April. But yeah, I don't believe any of this is priced in until moment of. It's always buy the rumor, sell the news. So yeah, I think the rumor's been priced in. But the news has not. The event has not itself. So speculation is in full swing here, but I don't think actuality or like reality has set in. And we're gonna have to find out what the miners choose to do. All you can do right now is speculate. Right now, my speculation is we're gonna see a lot of BCH and BTC miner flip of the switch battling yet again. Same thing that happened during the fork may potentially echo yet again during this halvening. So just keep an eye on the miners, what they're doing. Keep an eye on what they're up to as far as like building new plants and the stuff that they're ordering. If you can, like Bitmain's building one of the biggest Bitcoin farms in Texas, in the U.S. right now. And there's other miners looking, I think, in like New York City because of the generator power. And I think even in like Nevada because of the desert solar power and it's tax exempt. So just keep an eye on a lot of that. But yeah, all you can do is really wait. I know if you look at the chart and just look before, during, and after, so try to break up like 3 to 6 months periods around the halvening, you can pretty much see the cookie cutter cut and paste pattern that occurs. Ups and downs, and then sort of like a slingshot. And a new low is set after halvening. I think we could see a stabilization around that 10 or 11K price because of that. And a lot of people don't realize like these Bitcoin that the miners are rewarded are way more valuable than the Bitcoin trading on the exchange. So we're probably seeing like 8,000 something $100 Bitcoin on Coinbase or whatever. That is not what the miners are selling their Bitcoin for at open price. They're selling it probably 10,000, 12,000 for these virgin Bitcoin. And the point of these are to be held. And a lot of people are buying these Bitcoin and just holding them long term.
So would you say or would you agree that the price will probably run up to the halving event, and then historically, from what I understand and what I've looked through the charts, is that it's going to have a little bit of a sell off for about 2 to 3 months,
Yep.
depending. It could be quicker, it could be longer.
That's why I say 3 to 6 months around that.
It's like, and then like by summer, I see it kind of like you're saying, kind of flatlining. I mean, we've been in a bull market since late 2018, early 2019. It's changed the trend, in at least in my opinion. Consolidation and steps on the way up are normal, and from what I've experienced and what you've experienced. So I think people that are really emotional about investments and the way they look at digital numbers, I think it's a little hard for average people to get involved with something so complex, like you're saying. I talk to older people; they're just mind boggled. They're like they literally just don't. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. They don't believe in it. They think it's fake. They say, "Why don't you have some real money, some US dollars?"
I feel like that because I never have any real money. So whenever I'm out with people, that usually is something that comes up. Just
so they're just blown away by the fact that you're able to sell Bitcoin or sell any digital currency for fiat instantly for like a minimal fee, and transfer to a bank electronically or a debit card or whatever you got to do, or just through a scan code through the wallet. You could literally just send.
Yeah,
sure
Flex, I think is the most like mind blowing when people see you just like walk into like a Baskin Robbins or whatever and just like pay, and they're like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Yeah, that's Bitcoin."
I just paid in Bitcoin.
Right, like that was actually Bitcoin. The cashier maybe thinks it's a gift card because that's sort of how gift cards work now. You open up like the Wawa or Walmart or Starbucks app, and the cashier scans the gift card QR code, and it does the same exact thing Flex is doing for Bitcoin, which is really cool. And they're using it's not Square, it's Clover, I think. It's like the competitor of Square. And so yeah, anybody that uses Clover can pretty much accept Bitcoin as conveniently as accepting their own native gift cards.
So here's a good question for you. And I've been following you for a while here, but are you still using Bitcoin Cash as a better method of transaction compared to Bitcoin?
I am actually. I am. I don't really shill that a lot, but it's not like I feel like it's not like my job or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't owe it to anybody. I mentioned it. I shouldn't have to say it every day, all day. I'm not like, a BCH maximalist of any sort. But yeah, I have been using Bitcoin Cash the most, pretty much like exclusively the past few months. And since I've been exclusively using Bitcoin since 2016, and I went like all in 2017, so like that's all I used for like 3 years. I've had a better experience of using it. I had a lot less transactions because I do like buy gift cards, and I saw McLovin in the chat said you can buy gift cards from Coinstar, so that is awesome. But yeah, I use things like iPayu.io in like 2016, 2017 to buy Starbucks. So like, in 2019 when I saw all these tweets coming out about Starbucks accepts Bitcoin, I'm like, they always have. I've been using it since the first day I got into Bitcoin. What do you mean? So like I've always been spending and using Bitcoin, and I've had issues with confirmations where it takes so long that the price has changed, and I get it like I have to get my Bitcoin back from the website, and I have to go back and buy the gift card all over again. And just looking at how much I spent in transaction fees alone, and the time spent waiting for confirmations to just go about. So like I use Bitrefill, right, to buy gift cards for Uber so I can get a ride when I'm at a conference out of town. I don't have any cash. I try my best to have $0, and if I do, it's like $10, $20 to spend it at the store to get a drink or whatever immediately with my BitPay card. But I
Yeah.
use Bitrefill to get my gift card. So I'll send Bitcoin, and it'll take so long that I have to meet my friends where they're going, because like I have to wait to get my confirmation to get my code to get the ride. So it's just, it became such an issue. I found other, means, and anywhere, and this is, why people I know are going to be like, why not just use Litecoin? Why not just use XYZ? That's, everything's that's competing with Bitcoin to be a better Bitcoin, right? Like we're faster, we're cheaper, blah, 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 blah. Like, because anywhere Bitcoin's accepted, Litecoin is not, but Bitcoin Cash is. Bitcoin Cash is in that sense Bitcoin to any point of sale system that accepts BTC, as it does, definitely accepts BCH, and maybe accepts LTC. And I do hold Litecoin. I just don't spend it. Yeah.
Your Litecoin Foundation just announced that they had that partnership with the Bitcoin ATMs, or I saw something this last week. Just I
Dude, I
do.
remember when Litecoin got listed on Athena Bitcoin, the first Bitcoin ATM to list Litecoin, man. It was like historical event.
I don't. I mean, I'm just not too familiar. And what I've from the people that got me into Bitcoin and my thoughts on Roger Ver and all these people
That's
that
what fucked me up, right? I
yeah,
had that correlation of I don't like Roger, so therefore I don't like BCH.
it's
I
just a
had to detach that.
bro. It's literally
Yeah, I had to decouple that. And my buddy Rice Crypto had a really good interview with Roger where they covered a lot of the misconceptions of Bitcoin Cash. And a lot of people feel like Roger's like this founder or head figure behind the BCH fork, and he didn't get involved with Bitcoin Cash till well after the fork.
yeah.
He wasn't a proponent of BCH for a while after the fork. He was definitely a BTC maximalist for all intents and purposes for a while, and then eventually Roger got on a new bandwagon with this BCH thing, and people, correlated that to him being the founder of Bitcoin Cash and him, this. And I didn't like the marketing. I didn't like Bitcoin.com calling, BTC Bitcoin Core and BCH Bitcoin. I thought that was very misleading and illegal. And there was a class action lawsuit, but they suffocated it out, and nothing came of it. But all that led to a bad taste in my mouth when it came to Bitcoin Cash. And after using BTC long enough, I wanted to get my own opinion of BCH because I
Yeah.
knew I had a bias. I knew that there was this filter that when I saw it, heard it, I immediately had this filtered opinion that wasn't even my own. It was almost like installed opinion, right? That like my subconscious was giving me, and I was like, you know what? I don't like it. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna stop using BTC. I'm gonna start using Bitcoin Cash and see what the hype's about, right? Like, is it as easy to use as Bitcoin? Is it as accepted everywhere? Can I do this? Can I do that? Because I've been doing this with BTC. Can BCH do this too? You know what I mean? Like, let me see what's really up with it rather than spectating it. I wanted to get in the box with it. And I feel like that gave me a true opportunity to get my own opinion of it rather than this, deity type of opinion. Like, my opinion of Bitcoin Cash was based off of Roger Ver, not Bitcoin Cash. So I think my next experiment may even be XRP. I mean, they just got listed with BitPay card. They, I think, even have other upcoming support where you can actually use it and spend XRP. And I got to talk to my buddy from Green Eggs. God damn, I can't remember his damn name right now. I'm so baked. But we were talking about XRP not too long ago, and
Was it on your live chat?
yeah. It was a live
Listen to
stream.
it.
Yeah, and it was. I learned so much, bro. I can't lie. So like, my next experiment might be to throw myself and immerse myself in the XRP community and start spending it and using it as well. And I do hold BTC. I'm
Yeah.
not selling all my
It's so,
BTC
it's
for
so
BCH. Just my
thrilling to hear
spending.
you say that. I feel like this is the first time I've heard you publicly say that you are thinking or considering XRP. I've been in XRP for a couple of years now.
I've always used it, bro. Like that XRP tip bot, I always gave that credit where it was due, man. Like that was an amazing utility for cryptocurrency to see how easy it was to use, and it inspired every tip bot that you see on Twitter today or in Discord or Telegram. Every tip bot was basically inspired by that XRP tip bot, and it was just so well done that I used it. People kept tipping me XRP even as a troll, so I'd be like, XRP's a scam, and my whole fucking comment thread is people tipping me XRP. So what did I do? I just went and did the same thing. I was like, I see like Bitcoin Ben doing a live stream or something on Twitter. I'll tip him some XRP from the tip bot because it's just easy and it works. So I used it, and I see you in the chat, Bitcoin Ben, much appreciated. The greatest gift cryptos bring is the ability for people to choose their own currency. BTC, LTC, BCH, XRP, it's all about freedom. Facts, bro. And that is the conclusion I had to come to get out of that Bitcoin maximalist cult. And that's what we were talking about earlier, dude. It's a fucking cult.
Yeah, even early on, it's hard to be like, I don't think it's just going to be Bitcoin, especially when you understand Ethereum's use case and you understand what Ethereum does, and then you understand what XRP solves. I think in the end, I couldn't agree more with the Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse.
Garlington or whatever. I love that meme. Did you see how he was introduced on TV the other day?
Garlington, it's you have to say what is gonna solve the most problems. What is gonna have the most utility?
Not even. I don't think that's it, man. I think that is the argument educated people want to have. But you have to understand that the masses are uneducated idiots that never choose the things that the educated people think they should when they have the choice to. If you don't enforce this good thing, people won't choose it unless they like it for the logo, the color, the community, the culture. People say that the crypto culture isn't a thing, but if you look at each individual blockchain, you could almost put that culture in a high school at a lunch table and divide them accordingly. So there is a culture to this, and each individual blockchain speaks to somebody individually for whatever reason it might be. So many people use Dash because it's blue. They like the word dash, rhymes with cash. They have privacy, you know what I mean? But almost nobody uses Dash for its privacy. Like, rare to see that privacy option utilized. It's just because it has a cool logo that zens with people. So the reason I think maximalism is destined to fail is because unless the government is enforcing BTC or XYZ the same way they enforce USD, we'll see the freedom of choice and people will choose stupid shit all day. Like we'll see Doge be the main coin before Bitcoin if people get to choose it.
Elon Musk literally tweeted about it today
Yup.
or yesterday. Like,
And he's the
no,
fucking CEO.
no.
So like I think that, Doge could be the mainstream currency before Bitcoin because of the community, because of the culture and everything else, and I think everything has a chance right now because of that freedom of choice, because of that opportunity to do whatever. And as we see more point of sale systems pop up and accept more things, or atomic swaps get worked out, you'll be able to use any shitcoin anywhere you can use any other coin. So it really doesn't matter. I'll be able to use Ken tokens at Starbucks because there's liquidity on it, because I listed it on an exchange and I buy back my own tokens with BTC as I spend them, so I can use an atomic swap at Starbucks to send Ken coins to Starbucks because I'm buying Ken coins back from the market with my own BTC.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's so. I couldn't. I mean, I guess what I get out of what you're saying is that it's good to diversify, and that there won't be just a single winner. And again, I think when the masses come, which I don't see in the short term, like when I think about 2020, 2021, I don't even think this halving is going to matter. I would say 2024 would probably be a bigger, more significant event in the future as time goes on and as cryptocurrency or digital assets become more relevant in government and in tech. But it seems that from what I've been reading, and I don't know what accounts you follow on Twitter, but I follow some of the top influencers or whatever experts you want to call them in the
I
XRP.
feel like I muted most experts.
Yeah, and anybody that tweets, I think you did something about it too. Like anybody that says, "Oh, this is the last time BTC is going to be over," fucking coming out you're
Yup.
coming through your ass with your
That's
opinion.
a basic bitch clickbait tweet,
Like,
dude, and I
I
fucking hate
never,
it.
ever, ever put price predictions,
Yep.
charts. I follow accounts. I'm not biased. I'm very open to both sides of the party. I always think 10 steps ahead, but I'm very conservative when I think of price targets or like where BTC and all these things are going to go. I don't think these crazy radical, oh, BTC is going to go to $500,000 a coin in the next year or two, or it's going to go to 1 million, or I mean, based on the stock to flow model, it could probably go to 100K, and I don't think that's out of the reach. With that being
No,
said,
it's not. I mean, especially with this happening. I mean, it's not so much like a mass adoptive happening, like you mentioned. Like the next one most likely will have an effect on that mass adoption ramp, but I think this is more of a scarcity happening, man. We're at like
yeah,
17 million out of
the
21
first like
million
relevant,
Bitcoin in
the first
existence.
relevant happening, because I think 2016. And sorry to cut you off, but I feel like the 2016 event wasn't relevant because Bitcoin wasn't mainstream. Like there's
Facts,
like literally like even like when I say mainstream, I think about
bro. I called it a
CNBC.
non-event.
It's yeah, literally it wasn't even like a factor. Like
Yep,
and
it was a non-event. It's something that happened, but it didn't happen because nothing. It didn't matter, like you said. It really didn't. But you have to consider, and this is something that I think a lot of people that are just getting into crypto, Bitcoin especially, don't consider. But the amount of people that purchased Bitcoin after it broke 10,000 up until the 20,000, there's more people in that price window than there are added up altogether before that. So the amount of people
on
that
those
own Bitcoin at a $10,000 to $20,000 price outnumber the people that bought Bitcoin before 10,000. So there's a lot of this cement when it comes to the stability when we start to see these new lows pop in. So I expect when we've started to see this happen when Bitcoin broke 1,000 right after the recent all-time high after Mt. Gox. The people that were holding till that moment happened kind of broke even and cashed out and got away from it. 10K hit. Some of those people kind of took the same advantages, I bet. We dipped back down to around 3,000. We're working our way back up to 10K. Some people took a little bit more profits out because they're uneasy. We're going to see this happen all the way up to 20,000. Once we get to the $20,000 price range, that is that parabolic pinball. That is the tension being pulled on a slingshot. That once it gets to 20K, there is fucking literally nothing holding it back anymore.
It
It will
might go
not
to a
stay.
million, dude. Like
It is
I
so possible. So possible. And you got to think of the scarcity. People don't realize that there's over 3 to 4 million
oh my
Bitcoin
god.
lost. Lost. So think of like gold at the bottom of the ocean, right? Like just
Yeah.
gone. That has happened to Bitcoin. We're at 17 million Bitcoin in existence with only 4 million Bitcoin left to go till we're done, and 4 million already considered out of circulation, dead and gone to the world. So if you think about it, we are at that 21 million mark right now.
I
Wait and
mean,
see
if
what
you look at
happens.
it's literally it's
20,000 is going to be that moment. Like
you
that's
see those
all.
interactive charts like the with the volume, like there's a bunch of sell orders around 12, 13, 14,000, but once you get past 15, 16,000, there's not much resistance. And
Yep.
so to agree to your point, once we break that 2020 high, which I hate the people that say, oh, Bitcoin's not going to go past. It's gonna in my opinion it will either break the 13,000 or it's going to hit 20K and it's going to sell off
Mm-hmm.
post halvening or up to the halvening or right before halvening, and then it's going to go down back to 10, 11K, like you're saying, lose 50. That's historically Bitcoin loses about 15, retraces about 40 to 50%. And then, post halvening, 18 months, all time high, generally. It might
And
be
look at all
quicker, it
the
might
new
be
on
longer.
ramps. How did Bitcoin get to $20,000 when nobody
Nothing.
could buy
Oh,
it?
it's
How the
easy.
fuck do you get Bitcoin back then, bro? You know how convenient it was? It wasn't. Now you can go to Coinstar and get it. You know what I mean? Like, what? Bro, we're going to see these new all time highs because there is a billion more on ramps. I mean, Cash App. Cash App, bro. You can just get Bitcoin in
Square,
Cash
Cash
App.
App.
Done. You
I mean,
couldn't do that back then. And how did Bitcoin get to 20K when you didn't have these on ramps? And the institutional on ramps weren't done. They were being built, but they
yeah.
weren't done. Now they can move 6, 7 figures in and out of these exchanges very fluidly. And we're going to see that ramp up where we see these pensions, 401ks, retirement plans, fucking like institutions like Harvard and Yale will have like a 4 or 5% holdings in cryptocurrencies. You know, like this is all like those ramps are just starting to get done. The only ramps that existed were for you, me, and the viewers watching this. That was the only ramps that there were. And the industries that couldn't fit on those ramps were trying to scare you from getting on because they couldn't get to where you were going before you and set up the tolls. Now, 2020, they have the tolls set up, they have the bridges, the ramps, everything built. The infrastructure that we didn't have when Bitcoin hit 20K is here now. Here, can you imagine like how cheap Bitcoin looks to me right now? And you know what I mean? Like it's so cheap. It's underappreciated.
Anything under 10K, bro. As much as those dumbasses that tweet, Bitcoin's never going back under 10K, it's an opportunity when you look at it from, for me, I wouldn't buy Bitcoin. I've been more buying alts, but more specific alts, and I think you would agree with the ones. I mean, I'd love to get your opinion and throw back in, different coins here for the last couple minutes, but the, I guess anytime Bitcoin breaks below 8K for me is an opportunity just because it's like I know I've been staring and this and make a joke. People check their block folio, they check their price targets, they get the notifications. Like it's addicting. No matter what people say or say, oh, I'm
Bro, I was
going to look
trading
at
on Poloniex at the gym running on a treadmill in 2017.
it. It's
On a
20,
5 minute candles.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Doesn't stop the market. The Bitcoin doesn't have an earnings
How
report.
long do you think we see this in a casino where you could gamble on the price moving? Like, have you heard of Hero HXRO? Where you
Yeah.
can bet on. Wait until that's a casino game where you can bet on different cryptos price movements on like 5 minute markers or 1 minute candles, and they spin the wheel until the price hits higher or lower than the last candle, and
So
it's gonna be
I
fun.
just got a notification from Coinbase. Here's a good question for you. The most popular altcoin, and definitely something I've been following for the last couple of months, and I'm sure you've seen too, is the Chainlink. Have you been following Link at all, or do you own Link at
I
the moment?
I do not. I have actually stopped adding to my portfolio. So I am at a place of complacency and contentness when I look at it. I think what I have, where I have it, is good right now, and what I'm doing is and I did this in 2017 too. I tried to show people, like, especially with like these altcoins and like trading and stuff, that being proactive and doing more will actually earn you less. The odds are you're gonna screw yourself out of money than more times than the market will if you do nothing. So
Yeah.
I'm at that point again where I think that until probably after the halving, maybe that 3 month point after,
Yeah.
I might keep just watching. I'm just spectating. I
Yeah.
am doing pencil trades. So like I'll write down what I think might do, what I would like to see, and then I go back and see the market, reflect back on my opinion, see where I went wrong or right, and what it correlated to my predictions. But
Yeah.
I haven't added anything, and I've seen people talking about Chainlink and it coming up in conversation, but I've pretty much been down that Tron rabbit hole and Steam it and trying to just
So you're
uh,
saying
you broke up. What?
you said you don't like Tron,
No,
the
I
tier.
do. I've been
Okay.
I've been diving down the Tron rabbit hole, spending more time on that recently. If anything, I probably added more Tron to my portfolio. TRX, couple weeks ago, it was around a penny. Then it pumped up to a little over 2.5 cents or something, and I took some profit. I think TRX is probably the only thing I'm active on because of the Steam It acquisition and everything happening around Steam. I
Right.
just think that that rumor news, whatever you want to like consider it, that's just like anything opportunity for trading. Like same thing I saw when Ethereum Classic forked. I just saw the opportunity and kind of went for it. So like, but yeah, I think what going back to Coinbase. I think that what they're doing is really cool by listing all these coins and educating people with
It
that
just makes
earn
it
shit.
simple. I like to look at Coinbase, especially just not the Coinbase Pro, but just the regular Coinbase wallet. Um, it's just really user friendly, and I think that's what people. I think if you really want to get mass adoption, you have to make crypto cool,
Hey, they
and you
got that
have
Visa partnership now, right? So you can
like
actually get a Visa card directly issued from Coinbase. So you don't have to submit KYC twice. Like the Coinbase KYC is enough because they are an official partners. They can issue the Visa from themselves directly. So I used to have a
okay.
Coinbase
So here's a little
Visa. They,
yeah.
they used they used to have a Visa back in like 2016, 2017. I don't know if you remember that.
Nah, but here's a good question for you. Uh, I'm gonna read coins, and you just say yes or no if either you have it in your portfolio or uh you would consider it, or just no, you don't trust it, you don't like it, or you just think it's a scam. There's a bunch of them, but obviously you own Bitcoin. I'm guessing you own Ethereum.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious. That's pretty obvious. And you obviously own Bitcoin Cash. Do you own any Bitcoin SV?
So I use Twitch, the social media app for BSV, and that's the only place I have it. So I do, but and actually Coinbase, because I totally forgot that I had this like donations thing set up, and people were sending me donations to Coinbase while I actually like didn't look at my Coinbase. I basically deleted the app,
Yeah,
and I got an email from them saying I have BSV from the fork, and I can't do
I think I
anything
do
about
too.
it.
It's funny.
I didn't sell it in time, and then now Coinbase doesn't support it, so
Yeah,
I reluctantly have it on Coinbase. Nothing I can do there, and then on Twitch I use it because, like, going back to the XRP tip bot thing. I may have had my feelings of XRP at the time, that whatever, but the utility behind it was still there, and I still wanted to utilize it. So I use Twitch. I use BSV there. I think it's really cool concept, and big shout out to Danny Trejo for following me, because
yeah, I saw
that's
that.
that's a
That's badass.
pretty fucking badass badge of
That's
honor to
badass.
have Machete following you.
So was random follower.
Isn't it though? So that's really cool. And what's funny is
Machete.
I saw Will Shatner dissing Craig Wright and BSV on Twitter, right? Like,
Yeah,
because now he's like a
that's when you
Bitcoiner.
know you get people educated. You get a non-coiner or someone that's new. a celebrity with power and the ability to appeal to the masses literally calls out Craig Wright, which we all, for anybody listening, Craig Wright is a fraud and he
That's
is
such a
not
scammer,
Satoshi.
dude.
It's pretty fucking obvious. It's Satoshi is a group. It's
I think
very
it's legal now. Like, we can legally say that he is not Satoshi because he
yeah, like
failed to prove in a court of law that he was. So I don't think he can sue anybody anymore for saying
Mr.
that.
Wright, can you please access some of your Bitcoin from the early days?
Yo,
No,
all right.
I
So
can't remember. I don't.
hear me out on this, right, bro? When this first happened, right? When this first started to become a topic of conversation where Craig Wright is Satoshi and people were in doubts, he was a proponent of BCH. He was a big promoter and backer of Bitcoin Cash, while calling himself Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin BTC, claiming to have the 1 million Bitcoin, right? If Craig Wright was Satoshi at that point in time, if it were true, he would have dumped the BTC, would have bought the BCH, and went about his business. That didn't occur, therefore, he wasn't Satoshi. It was beyond obvious, right? And as soon as he went from BCH to BSV with the same claims and accusations, even more so eccentric about the fact that he is Satoshi, and still has yet to move any of the BTC into even BSV that he's so now confident of. So it's just that proof alone was enough for me, and I feel like it should have been enough for a lot of people. But again, it's just the drama in our space. It's clickbait. It's good content. Doesn't matter if you're fucking CNN, CNBC, or me on YouTube. We're all gonna talk about it because it's the drama of the season. It's the topic of the day, and you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
So, but yes, identity block. I did see your Captain Kirk versus Fake Toshi thing, and what I was referencing before, I'm sorry, was I want to see Machete debate Will Shatner, because Machete's BSV, Will Shatner's BTC. Let's
Dude, what?
get these celebrities to debate in like a Twitter thread or something.
It's terrible. I don't want to BSV, bro. Just everybody stick to Bitcoin. Why do we have to make it so
No, man, that's
complicated?
that cult. That's the cult. Stick to
Like,
whatever the fuck you want. I don't even care anymore. Stick to whatever
when I
you
say
want.
that, I just say let's all go back to the roots. I'm not saying let's focus on Bitcoin, but say, hey, let's not forget it. Let's not
Fundamentally,
forget it.
technologically, isn't BSV original Bitcoin before it became this Bitcoin SegWit?
I don't.
I love those. Those are my favorite conversations to have with like really educated people at a conference. You know what I mean? That are really like try hard, die hard maximalists. Where I'm just like, well, like Lightning isn't Bitcoin, and then let the rage fly.
Wait, so do you own Litecoin?
I do own Litecoin, yes. I don't use it though. I actually like to hold Litecoin as that's my Bitcoin hedge, man. If
Yeah.
anything were to happen to BTC, I believe that LTC will fill that void
The
before
closest to
anything.
it.
If any, because if BTC fails, every fork fails along with it. It's all fucked. Doesn't matter if you're BCH, BSV, Bitcoin Private, Diamond, Gold, doesn't matter. BTC fails, all forks fail with it. If not technologically, in confidence. What Litecoin has is the potential to be that petri dish, that nuclear testing ground where we saw already happen with SegWit, Lightning, Mimble coming. Like, I think that's my that's like Bitcoin is my dollar. So like a lot of people that have dollar is their dollar and Bitcoin is their hedge against the dollar. Bitcoin is my dollar and Litecoin is my hedge for Bitcoin.
Interesting. I mean, it's a good way to look at it. Let's see. I'm going down the list here on CoinMarketCap. Do you own EOS?
Mm-mm.
No. Yeah, neither do I. Binance Coin.
Yes, actually, CZ sent me two BNB a while ago, and I
Okay.
still have it in my one. I specifically made a wallet just for him to send it to me, and he sent me like two BNB for beer or something like forever ago. I think it was like around when he followed me or something, and I thought that was cool. So
For
like,
people that don't know, CZ is the CEO of Binance. Just major, probably the number one exchange in the world.
facts, bro. So when he followed me, it was like a real badge of honor, and like I just think that like when people like him follow me, I think that they're cooler in the sense that's because like I like people who like me, which I do. Like I really have a fetish for people that like me, but it's like the shit that I tweet, like the fucking sock, the XRP sock on my junk nudes that I do, and these people don't unfollow me, makes me respect them so much more. Like I'm just like, oh shit, they didn't unfollow me today.
You're like,
That's
I've
cool.
seen worse. That isn't bad. That's not funny.
Facts.
That's not.
But to segue though, I think those two BNB that I got from CZ are worth more than any BNB from an exchange, sentimentally and nostalgically. So people that are collectors in the future may actually want a BNB token that came directly from the BNB founder.
Right.
And I got two of them, and I can prove that with the open ledger. You can see that this was the sending, this was the receiving, and so I think that's really cool. And I think when it comes to other coins, I think that people don't consider like if the creators of CryptoKitties sent you a CryptoKitty, that's worth more than a CryptoKitty you get from an exchange. Bitcoin Ben says Ken is the Forrest Gump of crypto. I love it, but like that could be. I don't. I I do feel like life is like a box of altcoins. You never know what you're gonna get.
Literally. Um, and so let's segue back to my hottest topic, just because it's my biggest position as far as amount of coins. I don't. I mean, as far as overall USD value, Bitcoin is significantly higher in my portfolio by like a long shot. But I do see with the way I mean, I was buying Ethereum back in market bottom for $88.
I got in
I
at
don't
that
know many
$4.
motherfuckers that don't that own Ethereum less than $100. Like it's hard to say like, hey,
Less than $5 over here, bro.
like Jesus Christ, like that's where it's like once in a lifetime opportunity that you didn't know at the time would be like, oh, this is going to be worth $1,500, post altcoin alt rally.
Right?
And dude, and you could probably agree if Bitcoin goes to 100K, Ethereum will easily be 5-10K, like
Yeah.
easily,
Facts.
easily.
Rising tide raises all ships in this market. It's actually unavoidable. It's unavoidable.
That's just a scary thought about XRP. When I look at all the other altcoins, XRP works differently than the altcoins. And as much as I'm not an XRP army. I'm not sponsored by Ripple. I think once you separate Ripple the company and the XRP ledger and what the actual what they're leveraging XRP to solve cross-border transaction issues, you go, wow, this is really useful. And then I think you saw the other day some billions worth of Bitcoin was traded on the XRP ledger on the oil. I remember it was literally tweeted the other day. I just think with the partnerships and Ripple and stuff, like XRP, just being conservative, right? Being like, okay, if Bitcoin goes to 20K, XRP will probably go back to its all-time high. Its all-time high is like $4. Okay, $4 from where it is right now at 23 cents is a significant, like beyond significant return. Then you go, okay, I'm going to be a little more conservative, and I go, let's say it just doubles its all-time high. Like let's say $9. Like just owning 10,000 XRP at the price of 25, 27, 30 cents at 10,000 with 10,000 XRP at that price, you're looking at a couple $100,000 in return, doing absolutely nothing by just holding.
Yep.
And
but here's the funny thing, bro. That's dollar pairing. Start to do BTC pairing and start to look at how many sats you're going to miss out on, in a correlation to the percentage gained.
Right.
Yes, you may be able to make more. You may be able to make dollars, right, off of these altcoins, but you may actually lose satoshis. And I've learned this doing things where I was like, oh, I made X percent, gain on this altcoin, and then I go to trade it back to BTC, and I'm like, wait, how did I get less Bitcoin? I made money. Like, how did I get less Bitcoin when I made money on the trade? Like, the math didn't work out when I first started getting into like trading in Bitcoin to me, and that's where I think like the maximalist mentality still is for me. Like I do value everything in BTC pairing. I wish we could get rid of the USD and stablecoin pairings to these assets, because I don't believe that it's a fair a fair trade at all.
I don't, and I'm sure you agree. I don't plan on selling any of my BTC in this next bull run.
No.
I really, I plan on making my profit and my return purely off of alts. I think that's where I looked at it and say, hey, like I still think that holding Bitcoin the long term is gonna win. But I also say I've sunk enough uh, resources into these altcoins, and if they don't work out, I lose a couple grand, right? But then I go, well, I can make that back in BTC return in a matter of like heartbeat. Like 5-6 grand is nothing in price where we're going in the future. I just think that, like, and you probably agree, having this unmaximalist, uh, open-minded idea to this whole new asset class. I just think knowing that I think in the future, in the next year or two, I really believe this. I think with Ripple partnerships specifically, I honestly think banks will begin to store digital assets as the same way they store your gold or your security deposit box
Mm-hmm.
or funds. I just see everything coming to fruition and the slow adoption kicking in. But I don't see, like, when I say mass adoption, I say like 2022 to 2027.
What does mass adoption mean to you? Like, what the fuck does that look like? You know what I mean? Like, when we say mass adoption, I
Every
feel like
single
it's like
person,
unicorn.
like it's, I say, like, when I think about when I go to the gym every night and I look around and I see people, if I was to say, who I'll pay you in Bitcoin, I would probably think that or guess that maybe of the 100 people in the gym, 5 people would maybe accept that, and most of those people would probably be relative to my age.
Yeah, but now how many of those people have a Cash App wallet already? You know what I mean? Like,
They have to have some sort of pre exposure
I
to the.
think we're at mass adoption as far as we're
You
gonna.
think right now? You think the
Yeah,
floodgates are about to open?
this is it. This is it.
You
We're
think
at
so?
it. Yeah,
I think so.
this.
I mean, it's so hard to believe because the last 2-3 years of just bear market and hopium is kind of just, it makes us go insane. And your beard, look at your beard. It's proof. It's proof
It's
that it's proof that the bear market and this cycle can take a toll, and not in a negative way. But I'm just saying it's
facts. No, this is my crypto winter, my fluff right
that.
here
How
for
long is that?
sure.
That's 2 years, right? A year.
This is a year. Yeah, I shaved it about a
So
year ago, around Christmas time, or around my birthday, around Halloweenish, and
you
I trimmed it
cannot
once or
shave it
twice.
until Bitcoin hits 20K.
Okay, okay, all right. We'll see what happens.
It
I
might be
mean,
soon, dude.
I was gonna say shit. I don't know. That might be too soon, and I want to get it a little longer.
Um, but
But yeah,
yeah,
that's what excites me, man. Is like these new means, right? When we think of mass adoption, we leave out that fact that, dude, it's fucking Coinstar. You know what I mean? Cash App, fucking, uh, what is that? Clover or whatever. For Flexa, the spending app. Like, we're here, man. Like, Bitcoin got to 20K when nobody was using it. Nobody.
there was like
Bitcoin's main
three,
use
four,
case
five
was to buy
exchanges.
other shit, like other shit coins. That was it. You bought Bitcoin to buy Ethereum, to buy an ICO. That was Bitcoin's main use case that got it to 20K. That's what got it there. Now, look at how much more you can do with it. How much more it is accepted. I mean, we don't need Walmart to accept Bitcoin for it to be mainstream. You know what I mean? Like, we're here. We're
People are not ready for this, and I know you are. I know I am. Even when I say that, it's going to be something that is like, it's once in a lifetime, man. Like
It's a generational thing, bro. Like, our parents will never participate in this ever. I do
I
not
still
see
don't
it.
believe. I got my mom to own. She owns Bitcoin. I
My
got my
mom
mom. She has a
uses
wallet.
it. She'll
She
use
got
it,
it.
but she doesn't own it. Like, Purse.io?
Say again.
Purse.io.
Purse? No.
So on Purse.io, you can basically shop on Amazon and save up to 20 to 30% on anything you buy on Amazon with Bitcoin. So my mom, like everybody's mom, buys shit on Amazon for the grandkids and her kids and shit, right? Or the house. And I showed my mom how to just go to Coinbase, buy the Bitcoin on Coinbase, send it right to purse, and then buy her shit for 20 to 30% off. So she doesn't hold it, but she'll utilize it. And that is basically like buying a gift card or a coupon to her. And I think that is the niche it will fill for the other generations above us. But for the millennials, and I don't even know, like, the what's the generation next? What the fuck is it?
I
Like,
just looked that up the other day and I already forgot.
I feel like we should call them Generation RX. You know what I mean? Like all the kids that grew up on all these fucking pharmaceuticals and shit like that. Like this is a Generation RX coming up next. But yeah, I think they're gonna have that. Yeah, it's common knowledge to use a digital asset or a cryptocurrency or some form of, because they're already doing it with these Pokemon Go coins and other Fortnite V Bucks and other things like that. So I think it's going to be an age out thing. Like the mass adoption is here when I say like the people that matter that will be around,
Yeah.
we've adopted it. The people that don't matter are unfortunately our parents and their parents who are still alive, just doing their thing and trying to hold on to their history, their reality, much like their parents and their parents' grandparents did when it came to fundamental belief systems like currency. Currency is a religion. So when you try to
It's
indoctrinate
just a belief
people,
system.
it is.
It's
So
just a
we're
belief.
talking about indoctrinating an entire populace into a believing in a new system. It's the same. We're doing like the same crusade that happened for Christianity. We're going around village to village and pillaging and plundering until people decide to opt into our BTC cult. And I think that it's an age out thing. We're gonna see us as the grandparents, and it'll be a joke, to talk about Bitcoin the same way it's a joke to talk about how amazing fax machines are. Keep in
Like,
mind, every Fortune 500 company in New York City still uses a fax machine today, but we don't hype it. We're not like fax machine technologies, fucking yeah, no. But that's Bitcoin will be that boring in the next 20 to 30 years. So boring.
do you get made fun of for how much you talk about Bitcoin in public or like in general in conversation? Do people ever find it annoying or like they don't want to talk about it anymore?
Yeah, so friends and family
Yeah,
probably hate
yeah,
taking Uber rides with me at this point.
yeah.
Anytime I get in an
Because you
Uber,
always are gonna ask the Uber, do you know about Bitcoin or do you understand Bitcoin?
I mean, it's
They
almost like my
all
public
lie. They
service.
all lie. They say they do or they've heard of it, but they don't. And then you talk to them for 10 minutes about it, and then they're like, they think you're some like expert god.
Yep,
Believe me,
it's
every
funny.
single one of my Ubers does that shit.
Yeah, so I do consulting on the side for projects as well as like individuals, and
Yeah.
it's like basics. I don't do any like buy low, sell high kind of shit. It's just like here's how to back up your keys, here's how to encrypt it with a BIP38 key, so now it has a password on top. Like just the basic things like multi-sig stuff like that. And a lot of my clients are my Uber drivers, and but yeah, the people that get annoyed the most are like my partner. When we lived together, we would go out to like restaurants or anywhere like movies and shit. And my whole thing would be like, whenever the bill comes to me, I always say, "Do you accept Bitcoin?" It's just like, yeah, it's a static reply that anytime anybody's like, the price is, my reply is always, do you accept Bitcoin? And that has turned into from 5 minute conversations to hour long conversations. So I could be at a restaurant for an hour talking to my waitress as she's going back and forth throughout tables after I already paid my bill. I'm already done eating, and my partner is trying to go back home and watch TV or something and do work or whatever. And like, yeah, so I get stuck in conversations a lot. So if I'm out with people, it does happen, and every once in a while, I even have like Uber drivers when I'm on my way to a conference or my way to a meetup. I'll have an Uber driver, and I'll be like, dude, just turn off your Uber app, come into the conference, I'll get you a free ticket, like come in and learn. And I think I've done that 3 times where like my Uber driver, when they dropped me off, just parked their car and came into the conference with me.
Are you going to the, speaking of conferences coming up, hopefully this coronavirus doesn't cancel everything, but
Yeah, I saw Bitcoin Ben's meetup is delayed. He says that's okay. We'll have it again. Yeah, it's. I don't know if I'm anywhere that a plane requires. I'm not traveling.
yeah,
Not
damn.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not traveling anywhere for the next 3 months or so. I would like to wait it out. This. I have a shitty immune system, bro. I swear I get sick just watching TV talk about illness. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like I get like that psychological fucking side effects and shit. Like
I know
can't
for
do
a fact Kush can cure that and help it.
it.
Like,
Facts.
from my experience, I
Sativa though, sativa. If you're
yeah,
sick, avoid indica at all costs, man. It's a
they'll put
downward
cure all
spiral.
over it. So.
Yeah, the sativa is like a Red Bull. Like it's almost like Dayquil. I feel you on that.
Where so I have to ask, where are you located, like geographically? Are you
I am at 223 West Central Ave, Blackwood, New Jersey,
New Jersey?
08012.
Okay. All right.
There's my address. Send me drugs. No, don't send me
Good.
drugs. Send me mail though.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I was gonna say I'm coming straight from the Bay. It's definitely a art and a delicacy here in the Bay when it comes to Kush and things like that. I think it's
My
we definitely
favorite
take it
was
very seriously.
have you ever had Orange Crush Kush?
I'm pretty sure I had that. I kid you not, a couple months ago.
Dude,
When I
it
say
tastes
that, like
like
maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
what's
I
that
tried.
space drink? That space drink we used to drink as a kid. All the astronauts would drink it. Shit, it's like orange juice drink thing.
No, not Fanta.
Come on, chat. Somebody's watching. You know what I'm talking about. It like the astronauts drink it, and you mix it up, and it was damn. But that's what Orange Crush Kush tastes like.
Okay.
Exactly.
I literally had the other day. I had some chocolate something cookies. It's a hybrid, some knockoff of Girl Scout cookies, but it's like 30.2% THC.
Ooh.
Like some crazy. Like you take like one or two puffs, and you're like, you are stoned.
We
Like so,
talked about altcoins, man. Let's talk about like to wrap things up here. The different types of altcoins, because like a lot of the times people hear altcoin, I think they correlate it to a straight competitor for Bitcoin when it comes to
yeah.
features, utility, and technology. Litecoin is a altcoin to Bitcoin. I
All
do
altcoin
not
needs was
consider
alternative to Bitcoin.
Ethereum.
Like
I
it's
do not consider Ethereum though an altcoin to Bitcoin. I consider it its own thing, much so as like Dash is its own thing. It has a masternode system, proof of stake, and I think that there's a huge misnomer in early investors when it comes to these altcoins. As far as like the opportunities that they provide long term. So things again that compete with Bitcoin to be a better Bitcoin is like Digibyte or Litecoin or Doge, things that are faster, better, cheaper, and do exactly what Bitcoin do, but say they do it better with nothing else to offer. And I think what Ethereum is doing, Tron, even EOS, even though I don't own any of it, these blockchains are Chainlink again, are doing things that Bitcoin either can't do or just chooses not to through their Bitcoin core development team to opt out of implementing said feature that other blockchains offer. So I think a hedge, if you're going to diversify into the spaces, masternodes, like Divi Coin. Check out Divi, look at masternodes and passive,
are
when
you
people say passive income, look at these things like
are you do you own the privacy coins?
I have Dash and I only used Dash for privacy. I haven't used anything else
You
outside
don't
of
own like
Dash.
Moreno or Zcash or anything
It's
like
funny, dude. I actually got this tattoo right here with
that?
Fluffy.
Aha!
So me and Fluffy were at the
Excellent.
at a mansion
Excellent.
party, and I got a little fucked up and said some dumb joke like I'd get a XMR tattoo with you, Fluffy, and Fluffy was like, "Okay, let's go." And 10 minutes later, I'm getting a tattoo. So
Oh,
I
I for
don't
sure will be
own any
getting it. I
Monero,
will for
but
sure if Bitcoin goes to over 250,000 in the next before the next happening, so before 2024, I will get a Bitcoin tattoo.
see, that's why I
Like
got a Bitcoin
I have my
tattoo.
whole arm tattoo. Like for most of it, it's just for me. It's just like
I feel you, man. I got
I
into Bitcoin at 400. It broke 1,000, and I was like,
I should already
tattoo,
have one on it.
tattoo. I'm getting a tattoo now. I got into Ethereum at like 4 or 5 bucks. Litecoin at like $1, $2, and as
Ah,
they kept doing things, I'm like, tattoo, tattoo, tattoo. I did not get an Ethereum tattoo because I do have a moral qualm with Ethereum. I think I I think Ethereum it's going to be in a world of hurt regulations wise. legislation wise and backed up lawsuit wise. Like, there's just going to be a lot of shit hitting that Ethereum fan when the government does get more involved. The fact that it is a security that creates securities is a potential woe of mine. So, like, and Ethereum, we can thank Ethereum alone for all the scams, basically, besides BitConnect. Like every fucking scam that basically came into existence utilized the Ethereum blockchain to do so. And I know it's not fair to demonize the technology due to the utility, just like Bitcoin and Silk Road and drug users and blah, 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 blah. But I think having that deity figure like Vitalik at the head, and, like as soon as I saw him die and the market crash like 300% in a correlation to a fake news story, I immediately saw potential for market manipulation and then legal recourse. And so I am actually on that. I am on the fence of like, I think Ethereum has a real rough road ahead of it when it comes to regulations and legislation in the U.S. I don't know whatever, outside of the U.S., but there's definitely going to be issues moving forward for them because of their history. So I never got the Ethereum tattoo because I felt like it would be like me getting something that was like, supporting all these scammy ICOs.
You can get yourself an XRP tattoo next.
I might, bro. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I get 1 Bitcoin worth of XRP from that tip bot, I'd do it. I would totally do it. But that's like me open sourcing my body for like bounties. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to like send me 1 Bitcoin worth of any coin, and I will get that coin's logo tattooed on me.
Jesus.
I'll get XRP right here.
Wow.
Actually, I actually sent Justin's son a DM probably 8 months before he acquired BitTorrent, and said, I know you're going to buy BitTorrent. And this is like, again, months before the announcement. And I was like, look, I know you're going to buy BitTorrent. Can I get an interview with you about it? If you do, I'll get a TRX tattoo on my throat. And he never replied, but he saw it and he followed me. And it's because I know people that work at BitTorrent before I ever got into Bitcoin. Like, I was really big in like piracy and shit like that. So I know a lot of these pirates, and I know some people from Pirate Bay, BitTorrent. I even know the old school BearShare team. I don't know. Most people use like LimeWire or Kazaa, but I use like BearShare. But I know these people, and I knew that acquisition was in the talks. And yeah, I can see what's happening with that BTT, BitTorrent token, the BTFS file system share. Like, bro, I'm excited as shit for Tron. Like, I feel like
Tron's not a
fanboy. Hey, so honest, you know what I mean? Like, it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think the term shitcoin should be reserved for projects like BitConnect and BCC. That is a shitcoin. I don't think it's fair to consider an altcoin a shitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, most the only people that really call altcoins shitcoins are Bitcoin maximalists, right? Like, those are the people that are just gonna.
No, not just Bitcoin maximalist. Any maximalist. I mean, dude, like, I know Bitcoin Ben had to deal with this himself with the Litecoin community and the XRP community and the Bitcoin community and the Divi community. I mean, like, if you're talking about something like Bitcoin and then you segue the conversation, you're all of a sudden demonized and you're a traitor to the cult, right? Like, you can't be a member of 5 cults. You can only pick one and live in that bubble. And I feel like I tried my best coming into this space to make sure I never got pushed into like one table in the lunchroom. In high school, I was the dude who could go sit at any table at the lunchroom. Doesn't matter if it's the jocks, the cheerleaders, the fucking nerds, the band geeks. Any table in that lunchroom in high school, I was known and welcome to sit there and eat. And I wanted that with every community in this industry as well. And I tried to talk about everything as much as I wanted to. I didn't just, I have to talk about Litecoin because I'm part of the community. I have to talk about, this because I'm part of this community. If you do something, I'll say something. And, I feel like that's what kept me from getting pigeonholed. But a lot of people that are in that maximalist perspective or peripheral, they get pigeonholed and then they get crucified for talking about anything else that's doing anything awesome, and their content suffers. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna go downvote all your YouTube videos now, and you get like, you know, it just sucks. So I would hope to see more of more or less tribalism as we move forward, where I would like to make it taboo, you know what I mean, to like diss other projects, almost like it's taboo to just insult other people. You know what I mean, like it's so socially acceptable to just say Litecoin's a scam and end the sentence there, right? But I feel like moving forward it will be more like a saying, you know, vaccines are a scam. You know, like that conversation has way more heat to the debate than that's a shit coin or it's not a shit coin. And we're going to see that heat, you know, that flame kick up on those topics. Thoughts on takeover of Steam? Yeah, I mean, I'll go first. I think it's great for Steam. Or no, Steam It. Thoughts on takeover of Steam It? I think it's great for Steam It. Really bad for Steam. That's just my short summary. But what are your thoughts?
I'm not too familiar with the situation.
Oh, I definitely recommend you go to Justin Sun's thing, Twitter, and
Is
start
it
following that
positive?
thread.
I'm guessing by your, it's not positive.
It is hella collusion, bro. Like we just saw crypto go from decentralized to very centralized in a matter of like a day. It's so funny. But it's like this is the potential that exchanges have over decentralization. And I had this concern with Litecoin. I feel like it's like 50% or more Litecoin is like held on Coinbase. So like Coinbase is like this giant Mount Gox honeypot of Litecoin.
100%. That's what I
And,
mean.
and
Coinbase
that's
was that big on ramp.
centralization, you know? So yeah, and what's happening is these exchanges are colluding with Justin and CZ, and they're taking over, you know, these witness votes and shit, like, you know, to do what they want with Steam It. And a hacker has taken over like 60 million Steam, and it's been such a shit show, honestly. But to be fair, Steam It was fucking boring, bro. It was dead. Like I consider Steam It dead to me in 2018 when it did nothing for 2 years. You know, like I've been on there for 2 years. I got on 2016, 2018, even 2019. Nothing progressed. Nothing changed. It didn't feel any better. It didn't feel any more user friendly. The UI UX for newcomers didn't get any better. So I lost all faith in Steam about a year ago. And recently, this acquisition rekindled some of that hope. You know, I think Steam It has now has a chance for a new life, and I think that, you know, it's almost like a marriage divorced kind of situation for Steam It and Steam, to where like Steam feels like, you know, it helped Steam It get to where it's at, and you know it's owed something through this divorce, but it's not. You know, Steam It wasn't a decentralized platform. It was a centralized platform that utilized decentralized technology, which was Steam blockchain. And if people didn't want to support the potential of centralization, they should have never started posting on that website or that platform. They shouldn't have held that token. You know, they knew that it was a centralized website the moment they started censoring people that uploaded things that they were trying to copy paste from WikiLeaks. You know, there was recently a what was there a leak from? Was it the NSA? I think it was the NSA. People were leaking information onto Steemit, and Steemit was censoring that information off of the platform, not off of the blockchain. Obviously, it's there forever, but you couldn't view that information from steemit.com. That censorship should have been a forewarning of what censorship were to come moving forward. So yeah, you get what you invest in, guys, and hopefully this teaches people the difference between a centralized, decentralized project on top of decentralized, centralized blockchains.
Yes.
And I think this is great for Tron. Like, I think this is amazing for TRX. There's two things that could come of this. Either they do a token swap or they do an airdrop. Either way, I think this is one of those opportunities that you don't want to miss. This, you know, once in a lifetime things that occur, like that Ethereum ICO or the F Classic fork or whatever. You know, I think this is one of those pivotal points in our history for crypto when it comes to like a huge project with a lot of users, big whales that are educated and vocal. There's a lot that can come from this, and it may not all be sunshine and rainbows, but bad things happen for good things to come from them, from learning from lessons. I think this acquisition is going to be a beautiful lesson echoed forward. We're like a case in law where you go like John versus Ken back in whatever, like that. We're going to see like that example moving forward, like when the acquisition of Steam versus Tron. Well, we'll use that as an example looking at projects forward. Like this acquisition, this project could be acquired, and people are mad at Justin Sun for acquiring projects that he likes. Like, the fuck is that about?
They question everything he does. I mean, I don't even know the guy.
Haters gonna hate, bro. But you know what? I try.
A lot from the face, bro. It's you can't doubt that or deny that. Like, he literally just spent $4.6 million to go have dinner with Warren Buffett and attempt to change his mind.
He already has more money than he wants. He's good. He's not. I do not look at Justin like a greedy fuck that just wants to make more money. I think Justin is like, I have enough money. Now how do I make the world a better place? And that's how I view him. When he does something, I don't see it as one of these, world domination fucking Dr. Evil things. I look at it as a very earnest, how do I make this better acquisition? And coming from BitTorrent to, I think it was like Mushroom to this purchase and acquisition of Steemit, during the great layoffs like a year or so ago, Ethereum, EOS, everybody, even Steam, like everybody was laying off developers, and Justin Sun of Tron said, "I got you, fam," and he footed the bill to all these other blockchain developers and helped them develop on his blockchain because other blockchains weren't willing to do that for the developers building on their blockchain. And people don't consider that shit, man. It's just they want to hate. People want to hate on shit because they don't have any, or they didn't get in at a tenth of a penny, so now they're not going to get in at a penny. Yeah. Same thing we see with fiat maximalists talking about Bitcoin, right? It's like that. You can copy paste the argument for any majority holder of anything. Like I try to decouple profit from my opinion of things. Like I almost try my best never to look at the dollars, or like I don't think of Bitcoin as a way to make me more money. I think of it as a way to make money more irrelevant in my life.
Interesting. I mean, I would have to say I would have to agree with that too. I mean, I'm finding it, cashless. Like I don't even have cash. I never have cash. If I was to buy, cannabis or anything, they accept debit cards now. I don't ever have cash. Like what? I mean, unless the place is cash only, I never. And so for me, when I see like what's going on with the coronavirus and like the sense of like, hey, like China's announcing that they're gonna stop using, they're gonna go even more cashless, and I think that's a wise idea, but also it kind of makes the use case and more positive catalyst for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, where it's like there's digital value via these assets, and it's only taking you guys till now to understand that.
I think this could go both ways, man. That could actually be a double-edged sword, that potential for the cashlessness of this coronavirus, adding, that utility aspect of crypto, right, to the currency model of an economy. But it could also create a currency drought. I talked about this on a previous podcast where I believe that this currency circulation issue may make the dollar actually more valuable. And this may be may be intentional, may just be a side effect, an accidental side effect of what's happening. But with all this cash out of circulation, businesses, banks, and people will have less cash. That people want cash. You like it or not, the mainstream majority of people like dollars. That the mainstream majority of people don't even have a smartphone to use a lot of other features, right? Or unbanked, they don't even have a debit card or an ID to get a debit card. So I think that this is a potential to see where dollars may go farther coming after this. If there is that cash shortage that I believe we will see because of how fast viruses spread on fiat, the cash shortage will actually increase the utility of fiat, making it so you'll see the dollar go farther in your economy for a little while. It's almost like this artificial hyper stimulus. You know what I mean? Like they are going to say, oh well, this store needs tens and five. Like you ever go to a store where they really need low bills because all they got were tens and twenties from all their customers? They'll incentivize you to use small bills. They'll give you a discount or they'll something to the effect where they'll there's a benefit to going and giving them what the business needs if they need small bills. So I think this could be that potential where if you have physical cash in hand, maybe hodl it, and there's a chance that you'll actually be able to get more for less dollars because the store will need the dollars over the credit and debit card transactions. So like right now, if you go to the gas station to get gas, it's cheaper to get the gas with your debit card than it is, I think, with your cash, or vice versa. Yeah, it's cheaper to get it with your cash than it is with your debit card because that debit card charges the gas company like 3% on every transaction. They reflect that influx onto the customer. I think that paradigm might shift where you may actually get more gas for your dollars than you will for your credit and debit card dollars.
Makes sense.
I don't know. Just an idea. Maybe Bitcoin Ben can vibe on that because we haven't had an opportunity, at least in my lifetime, where we saw a shortage of cash, physical dollars, where that was a thing. And I think this may actually be a thing that happens for the first time in my lifetime where we see physical cash shortage because of this coronavirus thing.
Yeah.
Coronavirus scare is all just media hype. McLovin, I wish, bro. I mean, I want to believe that. I just feel like too educated to. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that was like people saying obesity isn't a pandemic. I'm like, give it a couple years, you might agree with that statement. And I think at this point, that statement is common knowledge. We are at a state of obesity pandemicness, and yeah. So this is just starting to get to that point, and because of the election, I don't trust anything that's on the TV at all. For like fuck till after this election, I don't trust shit. So if Trump's on TV telling me everything's okay, everyone's getting better, we're seeing less, it's the opposite of what's happening. You know what I mean? Like when a president gets on TV and the president goes, this is a catastrophe. There are people being hospitalized by the dozen. Like the opposite is always happening. Nobody's getting sick. Look at swine flu, bird flu, West Nile. All of those were like the end of the world, right? Everybody was going to die to bird flu. Swine flu was killing everybody, bro. We were going to see like the Thanos snap of viruses with H1N1. And what happened to it? So the opposite occurred. Now, when they're telling you everything is okay, take into consideration every time they told you it wasn't, it was. There might be a little bit of reverse psychology and manipulation to the news coming out. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. So yeah, I think that is actually a bigger deal than it's not. I'm sure Corona Beer agrees with me. Their fucking stocks get shat on just for sharing a name.
All right, man. Hey,
I know, dude. I could do this. I could do this all day, bro. I was waiting for you to be like, I got a shit to do, man.
I don't have very important stuff to do right now, but I do need to go eat and get ready for the gym in the next hour or two. So, I guess what's I guess last minute here, but what's something? I mean, anybody that's listening out there, anybody that will see this post or whatever, what's something that someone that isn't in crypto yet, or at least is interested, has money to invest? How do you get them involved? How do you get them going?
I give them some and show them how to use it. And unfortunately, it is it has become more costly than I'd like. Like, if you read back in 2016, I wrote an article called Bitcoin Halloween, and I dressed up with like a Guy Fawkes mask, that one right there actually hanging up, and I wore a name tag that said, "Hello, my name is Satoshi Nakamoto," and I gave everybody paper wallets with Bitcoin on them in 2016. I put one whole Bitcoin onto I think like 100 wallets, and I gave them all away. I went back and looked at the ledger, and none of them really moved. So I imagine people probably just threw it away. So yeah, that sucks. So I started to maybe do things along the lines of like, you have Cash App? Yeah, well, open up your Cash App. I'll send you like $5 in Bitcoin. And they're like, all right, now what? I'm like, well, you can sell it to your cash and Cash App and use your Cash App card. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, exactly. Pretty cool. You can use it just like currency, right? Like, just like money. If I have a euro and I'm here in the US and I want to go to Starbucks, how do I get my Starbucks? I go to an exchange the euro for USD. Then I go to Starbucks and get my coffee. It's and people that are worldly are more familiar with currency exchanging and stuff like that, and the people that aren't, like my Uber drivers and waitresses, I'll probably give them like $20 at the most, like depending on whatever the tip should be for like the meal or the ride. I'll give them like 10 or $20, and then I'll tell them where the nearest coin flip ATM is, and I'll be like, you can go to the coin flip ATM, you can send it the $20 I gave you in Bitcoin, and you can get your cash or whatever. So, or here's purse. I just try to show people how to use it rather than just be like, just hold it. Just stare at this in your wallet and watch it go up from $5 to $20 or from $20 to $1,000. Like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I more so say, here's Bitcoin. Here's where you can use it. Actually, there's a pizza place right down the street. They accept Bitcoin at the cash register directly. Go get lunch on me. Here's a couple bucks. And there's that Litecoin app. I don't know if you have it. I have it on my Android phone, but I have the Litecoin app. You can open that and just see places that accept it, or ATM, and all this information. And there's other places that get that stuff, like coinflip.tech. You can go on their website and see every ATM in your area just by typing in your zip code. So, like, I just like to educate people on how to use it. So I give them enough to do something with it, and don't even encourage them to stare at it. I try not to even mention the volatility aspect. I just try to mention the utility side of the things.
Oh. Well, hey
Yeah.
man, I appreciate the time and the talk, and it seems like we're very like-minded on a lot of these issues. I think we're both in agreement in the sense of, as long as we remain patient and uh, just continue our attempts to help influence the non-coiners and people, and just trying to help people in every way possible, because I think you see crypto like I do, where it's a bigger picture and not just a speculative investment. It's the future. You're combining technology and finance into something that, besides the internet, is unheard of. Is
Mm-hmm.
that's I think that's what really kind of was like, oh, this is a lot bigger than just buying a coin and just watching it like a stock. It's it's gonna. I mean, it's been around for almost 11 years. Uh, it's it's only getting stronger. The hash rate just reached an all-time high. The active wallets just reached an all-time high. The volume. There's literally a chart. You can go on any website that gives you the chart of the all-time of Bitcoin. And when in doubt, zoom out. Right? Well, whatever. Look at the volume. Who gives a shit about when in doubt and zoom out? Just look at the volume at the bottom of the screen. Volume with market cap and price. And even though the price is at 8,000 right now, the volume right now we're seeing is double what we saw in 2017 when it was at $20,000. It actually stumps it. It makes it
Yep.
look like a little fucking.
People were saying Bitcoin was price manipulated up to the $20,000 mark. I think ever since it has been manipulated trajectorily down, and I think that the futures market was like the biggest tool for that manipulation. But I think what we're seeing is price manipulation of Bitcoin being suffocated low. Like, it's there are unseen forces keeping Bitcoin under 10K for reasons that we can't fathom, that don't even matter to us, like,
I
just.
think that's the same with XRP too. When I think about currencies that can potentially be manipulated, I find that to be the same thing when they say XRP is a scam, it's controlled by Ripple, it's all blah blah blah. I just see it XRP being one of the most widely adopted cryptocurrency and most used in the near future, and so that's why you see the price kind of being smashed to low prices before this big announcement by the U.S. government, the IMF, or anybody of these people that are utilizing Ripple technology. And Ripple, all Ripple's doing is leveraging XRP. So it's like that's where you when you finally get that, oh, it's not Ripple. And XRP existed before Ripple. It existed many years before Ripple. So I just think that you just have to do your own research and risk what you're willing to to lose, and that's how I approach it.
Yep.
And I've probably sunk in the last 3-4 years. I've probably sunk in my own money probably about $25,000, like personally at the and now that's worth I'm in the six figures, and
Dude,
very easily.
that is a nice feeling, isn't it, dude?
And I don't mean that to like sound like, oh, I'm cocky, I'm successful.
No,
This
it's
is
just great.
nothing.
I'd understand.
It's literally
Pleasant accident.
and it's like I tell people it's like winning the lotto backwards. And when
Yes, fuck yes.
I literally say that because it's like when you win the lotto, you get all the money, you get taxed, everything. It's done. You get the money. Now you can do what you want. With Bitcoin, you've won the lotto by owning it, by opting out of the old monetary policies of fiat currencies and all the real world issues. You're buying a lotto ticket that is guaranteed to win.
That's how I felt when I got like my first whole Bitcoin and it started to raise value. I started to see, and that's why I think it's easier for me now to not look at Bitcoin as a way to make more money, but Bitcoin as a way to make money more irrelevant to my life, is because the Bitcoin that I own, the value that it keeps earning by the time I spend it, it's self-sustaining to the fact that like that is my job, just holding Bitcoin now, and being
So
frugal
easy.
enough to not
It's
spend
so
it.
easy, bro. And people think they're like, "How do you do it?" I would have sold at 13,000 back in June, and I'm like, guys, do you understand the fact that the price consolidated and sold off for about 5-6 months was literally wiped out in like 3-4 days. Like you guys don't understand. Like there is not an individual in this world that can convince me to sell. Not one. I don't even think Satoshi Nakamoto could possibly say, "Hey, sell your Bitcoin." Like, no, I don't want to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like
You're like me. By the time it comes to selling, we won't have to, because that's not an option. There will be no selling Bitcoin. I'll trade you Bitcoin for your house, or I'll trade you Bitcoin for your goods and services, but there will be no selling Bitcoin. We'll just be using it.
I am so excited for the short term. I know you are too. I think with the halving, it's not priced in yet. That's my gut feeling. I'm sure
It's
you feel
definitely
it.
not guaranteed.
Priced in yet.
Guaranteed.
This coronavirus is short term, making it hard for it to keep going. But look how much it rallied just in January and early February.
Yo, that is a good point, bro. People are actually not considering the ripple effects of the corona into the crypto industry, because they say it's non-correlated, but that just means it's not correlated to like other markets, but it's correlated to fucking world events, bro. Like, you know what I mean? If there was like a giant fucking hurricane over China, that would affect Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not correlated to natural disasters.
They're selling gold, they're selling
Yes.
Bitcoin, they're selling stocks, they're
Facts.
selling bonds, everything. They're selling everything. But
Everything, bro. And you know what? Cash is king, bro. Cash. Everybody wants cash.
The Bitcoin drop that we saw, this 10% drop, is nothing compared to what we just saw in the stock market. And people are like, "Oh, the market rallied today or rallied yesterday." Well, it also dropped again today.
Right.
Like there is more volatility in the U.S. stock market than there is Bitcoin, and I try to tell people that like it is literally sat over since. Do you remember last year, April 1st? Do you remember last year that like April 1st pump? Literally, it went from like 4,000 to 5,000 in a day. Like that was the first significant like kind of upward candle we saw in the I think the daily or the monthly chart. If you look at the Bitcoin chart, you can literally see that specific bump April 1st.
I remember all the memes and like the fake tweets.
Like,
there was a lot of good fake announcements.
A single whale moved the market that much.
And if you look at it, a single whale is pretty much who moved the market from 20K down too. I mean, we've saw those wallets.
Holy shit!
You could see those wallets, bro. It was a whale that dumped.
Billion. 18 million in circulation. 21 million limited supply. 3 to 4 million left. 7 billion people. 8 billion, and you don't own one.
Forget about the people. Look at look at institutions, corporations, entities.
They're gonna buy this shit out of it.
Yeah, and they're not. And this is happening. And I know if you really got to go, bro, just fucking hang up and run. Like you're gonna have to do that. But what I saw sort of happen was with the what was that fucking virus thing called again? The ransomware. That ransomware that was accepting Bitcoin to unlock the encrypted servers and hard drives actually inspired like 3 out of 5 businesses to buy some form of amount of Bitcoin as a hedge for security. This isn't a currency. This isn't any investment. This is to them like buying McAfee's antivirus software bundle and just sitting on it until they need to use the antivirus services that Bitcoin provides for the ransomware stuff. So look at these businesses that will be buying these institutions that will be acquiring Bitcoin, not for what we expect or for what we would project and want them to do with it. They'll have their own reasons, and a lot of companies will buy it to actually take it out of circulation to program with and code on and do things with those Satoshis. So, they're not just holding Bitcoin and using Bitcoin as this currency like we are. They're actually taking it out of circulation, putting if this then that programmable code on top of the Bitcoin, and now that Bitcoin has a job outside of speculating and currency. It's actually now a programmed technology that just so also happens to be a currency. So wait until we start to see people learn how to program money, because they don't know how to take this money and program it yet to do things.
We're gonna have to teach a whole new younger generation.
They're going to teach us. There's so much shit that they're going to do with this technology that we never could have expected or planned to educate. Look at what happened with CryptoKitties and what has become of these NFTs and blockchain gaming. Nobody saw that shit coming from CryptoKitties. Nobody. Now look at Engine. Look what they're doing with Unity and Real 3D and actual legacy game development. Like the things that these kids are going to do as they play with this technology, it's going to break the concept of what a box is. Like limitlessness is actually on the forefront of possibility. Like we would run into brick walls with the technology that we have or the limits of that tech, and the technology has come to the point that we're only limited now by our imagination and our education of how to implement the imagination with the tech we have. Like we have what we need to get to Mars, bro. Like we have it. It's here. We just got to build it and put it together and utilize it.
Is it like when you really think about it and you close your eyes and you just go, there is a native currency of the internet. Like you really think about it, you go, well, there's a dollar that exists, but what about like the way we think about email, like how freely and open source and everything, there's all these things, complex things going on when we send an email instantaneously. Like we don't think about that stuff. The same thing is what I think about Bitcoin, and that's what's about. I mean, I'm a little more convinced now that you're saying that you think that the mass adoption is already happening. That definitely makes me even more bullish. I really don't think. I just think with the Democrats and then Trump, I think they're going to be really, and the virus, they're going to be really distracted. And that might be the bullish case for Bitcoin this year. Because from what I was reading online, as soon as Trump kind of opened his mouth and the government kind of stepped on Libra when Libra was first announcing all that stuff last summer, it really stopped the rally. And I think that along with a lot of sell orders at 14,000 or 13,900 or whatever, I just see that kind of stopping the momentum of last year for a couple months, and then eventually it's picking back steam. Like literally, people don't talk about this, but the month of January was Bitcoin's single best month to date, besides 2 other dates in like early 2012, 2016. Like I saw some crazy statistics. It was the single best month since 2016 or so. It was like some random fact. But it makes sense, dude. You went from 6K bottom back in December again to almost $11,000 in the middle of February, and alts are just right behind it. So I
Yeah.
guess the last thing I'll say too is that I think people really, really underestimate the power and the potential and the opportunity that Bitcoin presents regular individuals. Um, it's so much bigger than just owning a piece of the puzzle. It's
Well, people have felt so powerless, bro, for so long when it comes to finance.
oh, I've
You
mastered
know, it's so
finance. I've mastered
discouraging.
finance. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but it's
No one taught me.
discouraging though, right? Like when
No
you
one
first got
taught.
into this, tell me, how scared were you? It's almost like jumping into a pool where you know there's sharks in the water.
How
You
do you
know,
teach
like
someone to swim? You have to push them in the pool. You have to get in the pool. You either swim really fast or you sink to the fucking bottom and die.
facts.
So for me, that's how I approached it. I knew I was going into the wild, wild west, and that I'm risking. I had a near-death experience. I crashed my car and almost died 2 years ago. So for me, it was, uh, it's a life bet. It's literally saying, I know life is short. If I die, my net worth and everything, my assets are 50-50, my brother and sister. That's about it. It's very simple.
You know, that's funny you say that. Is I tell people Bitcoin's the only thing that exists. Well, cryptocurrencies in general that you can take with you when you die. Like straight up Egyptian fucking, you know, pyramid built style, your hardware wallet is your tomb, you know, like if you have anything in there and you die, you're
It do
taking
not
that value that you
power.
created to the world. That value you brought to the world economy, when you leave, it leaves with you. And I think that is fucking powerful, man. Like truly powerful. And that's what like being buried with your gold and your silver, your jewels and jet, like that's what that was really about. Was like you built this wealth, this value that the, you know, and you can take it with you when you go, and nobody can basically leech off of your life essence, your energy, your time spent on this planet can't be stolen from you when you pass on. And now that is the most true it has ever been. You don't have to worry about Wells Fargo keeping your money if you die, because you keep it. It's yours. Or you set up the smart contract, you set up the dead man switch. When you pass away, it goes to your friends and family, loved ones on its own. No lawyer, no middleman, no will. You know, like just the people that we are so familiar with in the reality that exists when we perceive it, that utilize currency, are so distraught from even attempting to master this device that they don't even try, because it's the game's so rigged.
Yeah.
Now the playing field has been very much evened. Very much evened, that, you know, it's the first time in financial history that we have the same opportunities as the Federal Reserve or any government currency issuer. I can make Kencoin, buy it back from the exchange with Bitcoin, and now I made my own currency that has a value that I give it. You know, and that's more powerful than any government wants a citizen to be. That is the power that government has, the power to control currency. And this is what Bitcoin is. People are like, you know, can you explain Bitcoin in one sentence or whatever? And my go-to is Bitcoin is the separation of state and currency. It has done for humanity what the printing press has done, what the internet has done, and unparalleled things, you know, like the automobile have done to move humanity forward. Yeah, the first car was probably used to rob a bank. I mean, the first Bitcoin was used to buy drugs, but that doesn't limit the tech to its first use case. And again, like you're right, the short term is the only ride worth taking. You know, like I said, in a couple years, this podcast will be just as likely to take place as right now somebody doing a podcast on fax machine technology. Nobody's going to talk about this shit because it's going to be stupid. It's going to be boring. It's going to be so a part of life that it's almost like you go to a conference for toilets and plumbing. Are you a plumber? No. Why do you go to conferences for toilets then? Because I'm really into plumbing technology. I mean, look what the tech has done for humanity. It's boring, you know, and that's because it's a part of everyday life that we take for granted, and it will get there. And the short term is the only fucking fun time we're gonna have, man. Like, I feel bad for people that are gonna get into this when it is mainstream, because they're not gonna have the same memories, the same historical
They
representation.
don't know what it's like to ride the bull and bear markets of 2016, 17, 18, and 19, and 20.
By 2030, we'll have bull bear. It'll just be one animal that has become spliced together, because there will be no bull market. There will be no bear market. It will just be the market. All right, man. I will let you go. This is your out. Where can people find you on the internet?
So mostly just Twitter. I do have Instagram, but I don't really use it for networking or getting crypto. I mean, I
Just
do
use it
post
for
stuff.
modeling.
Yeah. No, definitely. I definitely strive to promote anything crypto related via LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, but the majority of my interaction and influences on Twitter are at Real Nice Guy SRH.
Yep, it's in the title up there, guys. You can see it.
Yes, yeah. It's I mean, I don't really post. The only thing I really repost or post is crypto, breaking news here and there, and I try to just. I like to be like a third party intermediate between the news of the good channels to follow. Like, I know which individual accounts to follow and the ones that are crap, and I get a lot of my insight and the stuff that I preach about via these accounts. And I'm on a personal level with like Anthony Pompliano.
He's a fucking awesome dude, man. I
Dude,
actually got to
a
hang
lot
out
of
with him
these
a few
people that you
times.
see mainstream that are getting airtime on CNBC and CNN, it's like it really is real, man. Because it's just like you look at these people as normal, but in the future they're gonna be
Bro, I've been on both of those networks.
like it's amazing, the community. And
I love crypto, man. Yo, if you guys are watching this, seriously, get more involved, man. Start a podcast, start memeing, start a shitcoin, do something. Just get involved,
every month that goes by is gonna be more and more positive. I just know it. It's like I don't have that feeling of like, oh, is it gonna be another month of losses? Is it gonna be? Are we in a bear market? No, motherfuckers. We are literally at the cusp, at the fucking entry to the door to this. Oh my god! Like, you thought 20K is a lot. Like, dude, like that's why, like, well, what's what's a 90% retrace of $1 million? $100,000.
Yup.
Again, like I'm just saying, like, if it did, for God, fuck, if it goes to $1 million, oh god. And
Here's my concerns on this, man. I mean, I hate to keep this going fucking longer, but I mean, like, seriously, when one Bitcoin is worth $1 million and people are spending this, money now,
very rich people.
But will we see the economy balance this out to where we've seen happen in other countries that utilize other currencies from other countries, where a car goes from 20,000 to 100,000, and now you have more money, but things cost more because Bitcoiners will be flooding the economy with fiat when they start spending, and you know what I mean. Like, so I don't.
I hope everything will be priced in satoshis in the future.
Exactly. So unless that is the thing, though, I think having $1 million Bitcoin may actually be detrimental to your $1 million, not to your Bitcoin, but to your $1 million. You could actually be the same reason why you don't see whales wanting to sell off little by little. Because if they have 100,000 Bitcoin and they sell 50,000 today, the next 50,000 that they have left, they actually caused a price dip. So now they lost money on the next 50,000 that they want to sell. So selling your Bitcoin to cash slowly but surely, maybe something that people want to consider when you get that $1 million Bitcoin, because otherwise you're going to end up having a 10 Bitcoin Lambo instead of a 1 Bitcoin Lambo.
Yeah, no, I've made my list of material things that I want if this, when this does come to fruition and stuff. And, I think my first objective is to get a house, like my own, like legit, like not an apartment, not a lease or anything like that. I'm talking about, like, I own this property. I bought this. Like,
So you'd want to own a house instead of just land?
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've always said, like I want to get a house. I want to get, I want to buy some real estate as far as like multi-unit condos, apartments, and stuff like that. Being like a and it's just also just in the sense of like a lot of the crypto moves I've been making are strategic to when we do get that big significant correction in the stock market to potentially re-enter equities and positions I've been out of for since 2018. I've been out of the stock market in equities since 2018. So,
Huh.
yeah. I mean, I've owned cannabis stocks for a really long time too. Like,
I was just going to ask you about that. Are you looking at getting? I think they're in a bubble.
yeah.
I wonder what your thoughts are.
I literally owned Canopy Growth, Aora, Kronos Group, all the big name market cap, companies. The market's so oversaturated. There's an oversupply. Yeah. Executives are stepping down, employees being cut off. It's something that I didn't think would happen so quickly. But I don't think that's something that in the long term is going to have an effect because I think more and more people will start using when times become more severe.
I think the vape pen embargo, they basically just passed. You know what I mean? Like I can't buy flavored vape pens, and soon I heard they're getting rid of like menthol cigarettes and menthol vape and stuff like that. So I think that market is going to go to cannabis, CBD, THC, vape pen, whatever. I think that the nicotine industry is actually fucking up and pushing. Like the big tobacco is about to have a big move to big cannabis because of this, and I don't think they're seeing it, like, you know what I mean, because they're in the box. But I'm not tempted to buy a pack of cigarettes now that I can't get my vape pods. I'm just gonna go smoke a joint because it tastes better than a fucking tobacco cigarette.
All right, last quote I'm gonna say to everybody listening out there, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, but it's not a financial risk to own crypto. It's a financial risk to not own any at all. And so
that's a fucking bumper sticker,
right? Like it's not a risk. Like stop. You literally go outside, that's a risk. You get in your car, that's a risk. Stop fucking using these terms to emotionally distract you from what's in front of you. Like literally everything is free. Information is free. You literally can take what's in front of you and do something about it, or have no balls and just be a fucking pussy and fucking call us lucky and say that we're, we got lucky. Like, no, like don't fucking cut me out of the fucking sacrifice and the shit I've done in the last 2 or 3 years to get to this point, not to fucking sell or fucking be told otherwise. All I'm trying to do is help inform people. And if they disagree, I'm just like Satoshi. I don't have time to fucking argue with you. You can either fucking get on the train or fucking watch us ride. Like, plain and simple.
What's funny is eventually they'll be on the train regardless. It doesn't matter.
And they're going to say that they were got in when we got in. They're going to lie.
How many fucking...
I got in 2015. Oh, really? Let me fucking check your goddamn Bitcoin. Show me your Bitcoin then. Show me that transaction.
So many people have already done this, man. You're right. It's definitely going to repeat. And what's funny is Warren Buffett, I think, is going to be the biggest point of history for when it goes to being wrong. And the ironic part of Justin's son giving Warren Buffett Bitcoin on that HTC phone or whatever phone. I think it was Huawei. I don't know. And then Warren Buffett says, I don't own or hold any Bitcoin. I gave that Bitcoin that Justin gave me to a charity or something. I don't know. I just think that's going to be the most ironic historical thing. Wow, somebody gave you a Bitcoin and you Warren Buffett gave it away. Wow.
Bro, one Bitcoin. When I hear that, if I was to, hey, we're giving away one Bitcoin, I'd be all over it. I'd be yes, I will go for it. I will do it. But some people
I'm waiting for Mr. Beast to do a one Bitcoin giveaway. That would be my dream in life, is to compete in any contest by Mr. Beast and where there's Bitcoin, one Bitcoin.
I'm trying to buy 0.5, 0.10, 0.15. It's hard to get quarter amounts of.
You don't even have to buy it, bro. You can earn it. We're talking about with Lolly and there's so many other ways. I mean, there's Fold app, there's Lolly, there's Get Pay. There's a lot of ways that people can just get Bitcoin from doing the things they do by spending the money they normally spend at the places they normally shop. And I think that is probably how the mainstream will get Bitcoin. Most people moving forward, when we're talking about the mainstream, the majority of people probably won't buy Bitcoin from an exchange. They'll probably either get it from their employer, or they'll get it from as a reward or some form of doing business at the multitude of businesses they shop at throughout the day. All right, we're done here, guys. 2-hour podcast. I am wrapping this up. We are out of here. Definitely check out this real nice guy on Twitter over here, guys. Much appreciate you, McLovin, Danny, Bitcoin Ben. Much appreciate you in the chat. Trying to scroll up here. We have Encrypt. Jonathan, yes, definitely. And let's see who else. Somebody was in here. Identity Block, much appreciated. Everybody that was in the chat that I missed because the chat was just going nuts. I appreciate you all for tuning in and stopping by. Conversation's in your hand now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Tag me if you have a statement you want me to comment back on, or just yeah, clip it. Have a day. I'm out.
Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, monarchtoken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like SOME.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, monarchtoken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like SOME.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast.